I love working with heart-centered, mission-driven Christian business owners. And as I do, one of the common internal conflicts that I see is the guilt that they feel over wanting to be prosperous. They aren't motivated by money. That's not why they're doing what they're doing. Why they're doing what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing because they love it and they're gifted at it and they're passionate about it and they're called to it. They can't not do it because it's their gift to the world. And it's in the areas that we are gifted, the areas that we've gotten breakthrough, in the things that we don't like in the world that we're called to change. But what happens is that we end up giving and helping and healing all at a cost to ourselves, to exhaustion, burnout, and overwhelm. And we yearn for freedom. And one of the business owners that I was recently talking to, who's gifted and brilliant and all the things, said to me on a call just a few days ago in the midst of her own burnout, she said, I just really wish that I could figure out a sustainable way to do what I love and help people while making a great living and having freedom for myself too. Time and financial freedom where I can live the life that I want to live and honor myself. But I just can't seem to figure out how to do that. And isn't that what we all want? To know that we can be who we are, to do what we love, to make the impact that we want while having the time and money freedom that we were created for, so we can be our happiest, healthiest selves and live a life that we love? Well, it is available to us, but we've got to resolve the conflict in our minds once and for all that lack and poverty is a spiritual virtue. The conflict in our thinking is setting up a conflicting result in our circumstances, and what we really believe about money and enjoying wealth is actually neutralizing our efforts to succeed no matter how hard we work. It's killing us. And we've got to start blasting out those limiting beliefs that have bound us to mediocre living for years and are keeping us stuck in the same old grind and the same old lack and poverty in our business that isn't what God intended for us. It's just not. It doesn't have to be so hard and such a struggle. You don't have to feel guilty either for wanting to be prosperous and free. It's your birthright. It's actually right for you to want to be prosperous and free. And you will not be happy if you're in lack. Poverty is actually a sin. It's a form of hell. It's caused by man's blindness to God's unlimited goodness for him. And living in lack is an uncomfortable, discouraging, degrading experience. And why in the world would that be God's will for us? It is just not. That's a lie. Poverty and lack is actually a form of disease. It's discouragement. And at its acute phases, it fills prisons with criminals. It drives us to addiction. It tears up relationships. It causes depression, suicide. It causes us to lie, kill, steal, and destroy, just like the enemy. It's of him, not of God. And it also leads us to doubting and being resentful of God, feeling ashamed of ourselves, and striving at the cost of our health and our well-being and our life and our relationships to try to make things happen for ourselves. Not the way we were created. It makes people do what they otherwise wouldn't, and it makes people be who they're not. It's been estimated that 9/10 of all of our human struggles are caused by the strain, the misery, the unhappiness of poverty and lack. Think about that. Let's be done with poverty and lack as a spiritual virtue, and let's stop being spiritual martyrs and saying we're serving God and his people out of this place of lack and struggle, and instead start seeing poverty and lack as the vice that it really is. It's one of the enemy's tools to keep us limited, stuck, burdened, discouraged, demoralized, and neutralized in our passion and our purpose. And we aren't really helping anybody else when we're in lack. We're participating actually in their lower level living too, and we can't see what we're doing. So if you're living in financial lack and limitation, it is a vice for you, and you're participating in it. Whether you want to admit it or whether you like it or not, that's the truth. And the good news is that there is a way out. I've been there. I used to live that way. I was programmed that way, and it's lies. The Bible is filled with rich promises of potential prosperity as a child of God, and it is our divine inheritance to live in abundance, well supplied with an abundance of blessing. You have everything you need in and around you to be who you were created to be, and to live in the freedom and the impact that you were made for, and the freedom and the impact that you desire in your heart. You can't be much good to yourself or to anyone else unless you're living in the prosperity that God intended you to. You can't live fully on the physical, the mental, or the spiritual planes without living prosperously. On the physical plane, you need good food, you need rest, you need rejuvenation, beauty, warmth, freedom, without excessive toil and labor. We weren't created that way. You also need to thrive with fun and joy and connection and creativity and relationship, enjoyment. You can't live well on the mental plane without time to enjoy reading and learning and creating and travel and enrichment and growth and plain fun. And you need time for quiet contemplation and meditation and mindfulness and prayer and spiritual study and connection with yourself and your own heart and God's heart and others to be able to thrive on the spiritual plane. And it's of supreme importance that you live in the abundance that is available to you in your own welfare and development and happiness, and so you can impact and empower others to do the same. That's where freedom comes, and that's where freedom is contagious. Prosperous, abundant living is your divine heritage as a child of a king. When you unlock the blessings of God in your life, you unlock and unleash your purpose and your destiny in its fullest. And then you help people do the same for themselves. Abundance is not separate from your spiritual life. God is a rich, loving, understanding Father. And when you realize that God is the creator of a rich universe and is the source of your prosperity, then you are divinely powerful to live in abundance and freedom. Then your life will change, your business will prosper like never before, and so will all of the others that you impact. And you are not making prosperity your false god by doing that. You are actually claiming and living and leading in your divine heritage from the source of all of your blessings. It is what you were intended for. Wealth means grand living, abundant overflow, and it is biblical. Let's stop believing the lies about prosperity. It's a divine desire, and desire is not bad. God put that desire in you, and it should be given divine expression in your heart and in your life and in your business. And we do that by examining our beliefs that we have about money and prosperity and reprogramming and those to align with God's truth instead of the lies the enemy wants to keep you stuck in. God's rich supply is all around you as well as innately within you. It's longing for its expression in your life and your business. But that rich supply and that substance has to be contacted. It has to be harnessed, and it has to be used and stewarded. And your mind is the connecting link within that. Your attitudes, your mental concepts, your beliefs, and your outlook are your connecting link with God's rich substance and your access to it. God can only do for you what he can do through you by means of your thoughts and your ideas and your imagination, which lead to your decisions and your reactions. Prosperous thinking leads to prosperous results. So start here right now with this new belief. I want you to choose it. I want you to reinforce it. I want you to speak it. I want you to embody it. And I want you to believe it. Here we go. I stir up the gifts of God within me and around me, and I am blessed on every hand with happiness, success, true joy, and freedom at the next level. Everything is expanding around me and in me. And when you develop a proper understanding that the substance of the universe as God created it, you can shift to live in the reality of the unbroken, abundant stream of supply. And the financial needs and the desires of each moment are going to be met by looking to the source of all riches, who is your Heavenly Father. So why wait any longer? Why stay stuck in the limited beliefs and lower level of living when the abundance that you want and you were made for is waiting for you to access it? Why keep saying, I don't have the money for that, or I can't afford that, or that's not going to happen for me? I've studied God's path for us for years, the abundant path, then applied it to my own life and to hundreds of my clients' lives for powerful transformational experiences in every area of their lives and their businesses. And you can live it too. You simply have to click that button below and let me lead you there.